It's 7:40. Let's do this. Now, listen here. Now, what you want to do is, well, the first step is the most important step there is. Grab a water bottle? That works. Good evening, Hampton Roads, Northeast, North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, not Jimmy Stewart. It is Christmas Eve in July, right? I guess 5 months from tonight, we'll be seeing It's a Wonderful Life, seen on probably dozens of TV stations around the country, but I digress. I want to check in with you because we're talking about First Warning Live. That's what you're watching, about weather, and it's sponsored by Marco's Pizza. So what am I getting for Christmas in July? Is that tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I only have 5 months left to shop, I guess. But you're getting heat and humidity, not a lump of coal. No, you're not getting that. But we're doing something even better. We're giving away free pizza during this live stream. I mean, free pizza for a year. We're giving out 10 pies. Can we do that? Can we just give out 10 pizza pies? Your name might be on that list. I got it right here on my computer. And well, we got a free app. We got everything. Free cheesy bread. Did I mention we got cheesy bread? We got cheesy bread. If you go to marcos.com, and all you have to do is go to the checkout window, because you have to select the cheesy bread. That's the hard part, right? That's not hard. That's easy peasy, right? All you have to do is that. And then all you have to do is use the promo code WTKR cheesy, and all of a sudden, presto magic, it comes out free. You could just pick up your pizza. Now, it can't be everywhere. I mean, to be fair, it's not everywhere. It's in 5 convenient contest stores here in Hampton Roads. We have 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in Chesapeake, and 1 in Norfolk, with the phone numbers listed on the screen here. Now, if you want to get in on the action, I mean like free pizza for a year, which we're doing on one tonight, all you have to do is register, go to WTKR.com. That's our webpage /Marcos, and you could be a winner. So I'm going to get to the pizza coming up here a little bit, but I got to get it back to maybe a little bit about, I guess it's Jimmy Stewart in my mind, because you know what, that stuff rubs off on you. I don't know what movies you watch. Maybe it's Rocky. You could quote lines from Rocky. Maybe it's Back to the Future or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You could quote lines from that, and I think it's kind of nice. I mean, I had a big fan of watching these Jimmy Stewart movies, the westerns, Rear Window, watching Hitchcock, and watching It's a Wonderful Life. And it has some application to weather, because if we don't learn our neighbors' names, because in the movie, if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy would knock on his door and his own mom didn't recognize him. I mean, how are we going to evacuate when a hurricane comes? Not saying it is, but when it comes, maybe 3 years from now, when it comes, not if, when something tropical comes up, Hampton Roads or Outer Banks, will you be ready? Will you know your neighbor's name? Won't it help if you know your neighbor's name? I think it would. I got to get to the maps. So let's go ahead and talk about heat and humidity. Today, we hit 86 degrees. But you said we'd hit 87. I know it's off by a degree. But sometimes that happens, right? Well, if you play golf, I don't know anybody that gets an 18 on 18 holes of golf. Now, some people might think they do when they play putt-putt, if they can avoid the windmill, but I digress. 86 degrees, that's how hot it was, but how hot did it feel? Well, you said it would feel like 92. Felt like 91. We've been given 3 breaks, 3 consistent days, 3 in a row, where it hasn't been that bad. Because on Sunday, it felt like 98. Did you know it felt like 98 last Sunday? It did. And I got some notes from you, because some of you, this is from yesterday, but I thought this was it was pertinent. Jessica Lynn says, what a nice little heat break today. She was talking about yesterday. It felt like 90. Today, it felt like 1 degree hotter, 91, but still. Now we're going to go skyrocketing into heat and humidity for Christmas in July. You have to add the word July, because other people think, what season is this? Is this a pre-record? No, this is July 2025. Last I checked, it's July 24th. So I go back to the maps, because one of the things you'll notice, while it was 88 on Tuesday, there's a big craziness going on in this town, because Banana Ball's here. No, not the Savannah Bananas, but the same company, I guess. This is like the firefighters taking on the party animals. Is that what they're called? I guess. That game's already underway. They're having fun. These are sold out ball games at Harbor Park. Isn't that cool? But if you're going to Friday night's game or Saturday night's game, it's not going to be cool. Why do I say that? Because it's going to be hot and sticky. I mean, at 7 o'clock, it'll still be around 90 and maybe 88 on Saturday. If we get some rain, that might cool you down, but it's not going to be a lot. not going to be a lot of rain in this forecast for the banana ball. Oh, this weekend you were clear. I said it would get hot. This big H is going to make it dangerously hot, not only for your dogs that might be outside, make sure they have plenty of water, but also for the very old, very young. Everybody's fair game to succumb to heat exhaustion or heat stroke when it starts to feel like 102 to 108. Wait a minute. Did I hear you say that correctly? Did you just say 102 to 108? I did. I know it's crazy. But that's where I think we're going to be in the afternoons for the next 5 days. That should be pretty sobering if you are actually watching. And I got a note from Taj, and I got a note from Wendy Smith. Wendy Smith says, I was on the beach looking for a missing man in the water. No luck. It's not scary? Yeah, we were talking about rip currents the last couple of days, Wendy. I hope everyone is okay. And I got a hello from Wendy Smith. So let me see if I can put some of those comments on the screen. I got a hello from Wendy. She's on here. I'll fly back in. She says, hello. Hi, Wendy. And her follow-up question, or maybe it's a statement of concern, says she was on the beach looking. Now, we had high rip current risks on Wednesday. It was a moderate risk today from the National Weather Service, but they upped the ante this morning. They said moderate. No. They moved it up to high. So for the last 2 days, it's been high. I'm going to revisit this here coming up in a moment. But Wendy, thank you for your comment. And I want to say hi to everybody who's on this particular call. So I want to go back. If this is heat and this is hot, let me just get to the nuts and bolts. Don't bury the lead, Aldrich. Okay, I didn't want to bury the lead. We're going to be in the low to mid 90s. That's easy peasy to figure that out. When the normal high is 89, that's 5 days above normal. But because of the high water vapor, the high humidity, the higher dew points, it's all about the dew point. It's going to feel like 106, 108. And even though the National Weather Service uses a threshold criteria, they like that word, criteria, 105. It's got to be north of basically 105 or north of 105 for them to trigger oftentimes a heat advisory of that sort. But 102, Monday, Tuesday is not going to send any alarms going off. They're not going to go off when it's 92. It feels like 102. But you can tack on 10 degrees to those days too. And are you ready for it? The question is, I don't know. Maybe you are, but I can tell you, as I've said since a week ago tonight, yes, the 17th of July. Oh, wasn't that your 30th episode? It was. In fact, this is the 34th episode. A week ago tonight, if you were to hold this weatherman accountable, he said it was going to get cooler in August. And I still believe that. And now maybe some other weather people are going, maybe there's some wisdom to that, because I think it's going to get cooler in August too. Everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon if they haven't already. And I'll show you why coming up. Let me show you those numbers again. Full screen, baby. 106, 106, 108. That's tough. Man, we had a 108 back on July 8th when it was 96. So you're still in that ballpark of 102 Monday and Tuesday. Now, right now, the heat advisories don't include Hampton Roads. What? You just said it was going to be hot. I know, but I also said that the Weather Service typically runs by a benchmark or a criteria of 105 or something north of 105. Right now they have Dare County. Where's Dare County? If you're not sure, if maybe you're from out of town, Dare County's over here, right? So basically, you've got Dare County under the heat advisory, and this goes from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. But would it surprise me tomorrow if they add some counties and turn them red? No, it would not surprise me. Maybe it surprise you. It's not going to surprise me if they decide to add that, if not tomorrow, again on Saturday, certainly Sunday when it's closer to 108. And I'll show you why I think it's going to be 108 here in just a moment. Let me just remind you, again, Wendy was talking about missing people at the beach, right? This is scary stuff. But we've talked about it quite a bit. We've talked about it quite a bit this summer, that rip currents is the number 3. It's like heat's number 1, and we're going to go into a heat spell. Floods, turn around, don't drown, that's number 2. And number 3, in the last 10 years, it's rip currents that take people's lives away. So you've got to learn how to swim parallel to the shore. We talked about this before. You also need to learn how to wave, and that's another reason why you should know your neighbors. Even if they're not even like permanent neighbors, like the neighbors you have on the beach. When you walk out on the beach, sometimes you go to these beaches without a lifeguard. That's really taking your life in your own hands. But you definitely want to learn how to wave and call for assistance, because if you have someone who's watching you, they might be able to save you, and you could swim parallel to the coast, parallel to the shore. That's the key. The rip current forecast I mentioned was very high on Wednesday. It was well advertised. I said yesterday, Thursday, it was moderate, but they amped it up to high this morning. But because of the wind direction change, these are usually high under an easterly wind. Our winds are going to be more west-southwest. this upcoming weekend, so it's not going to be as high. It's not a zero chance for rip currents, but it's not going to be as pronounced as it's been the last couple of days. If you're on the call, I want to say hi to you. I see Taj, and he's got a great comment. He wants to know, as I fly back in here, he says, free pizza giveaway night. Good luck, all who signed up. See, this is fun, right? Even if you're not a winner of the free pizza, Taj, you're eligible for free cheesy bread. Because we already talked about you can get the free cheesy bread, and you don't have to wait for your name to be called by me. You could get on to marcos.com while I'm still talking and just use the promo code WTKR cheesy with a Z, and suddenly you've got cheesy bread knocking on your door. Well, assuming you have it delivered. But look, we want you to be participating, and we love the fact that you're rooting for those who are watching. So glad to have you on here. See Kim Thompson-Jones. She's also wishing everybody a good luck to you too. So thank you, Kim, for being on here as well. I got to keep moving because what time is it? 7:50, almost 7:51. So we've covered rip currents. It is lower tomorrow, and the low tide time is key because that's usually when these rip currents reach a more intense cycle. So when you're in the low tide range, and that could be an hour before, an hour after, but 2:47, just before 3 o'clock, is when low tide occurs tomorrow, and that's Friday up here. Winds are going to be more west-southwesterly. It could be variable, but just know that it's not going to be as strong of a rip current risk or as high as it's been the last 2 days. That's the expectation. Could it change? Of course it could, but that's why we always encourage you to watch our local newscasts. That's why we do this every day. Satellite radar not showing much, maybe some false echoes there, maybe around Gates County, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. Look at that big low. Where did that come from? It's kind of stalled. It's just sitting there. It's been hanging out around Hatteras. Maybe it's on a 757 vacation. But again, you got to be up here. See, for those of you who are watching in Knoxville, 757 is the area code. Just so you know, and I know, everyone in Knoxville, they love their area code. What is it, everybody? It's 865. And if you had a traditional telephone, 865 spells VOL. Vols, volunteers. So there's a lot of pride in area codes in East Tennessee. And people around here love their 757 weather because they say it's wild, and it is pretty wild here. Low pressure down across North Carolina, and it's called stalled in a big way across much of the deep south. And again, it kind of trails off there in Atlanta. Got another front that's moving across parts of the Midwest. But this is what we were looking at yesterday. We were looking at this very closely because, as I said, it doesn't have to have a name, but it's going to be a locally heavy rain producer. Look at Tampa. They're getting some heavy rain there in red. And now just to the west of New Orleans, headed toward Texas, you've got what could be a 10% chance. Could become Dexter, but it's probably not going to become Dexter. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, sometimes I think the service of this, the public service announcement would be, hey, if I'm the Hurricane Center and I put out a 10% chance area of interest, it's going to catch what? Headlines. It's going to catch the attention of weather people, and weather people are going to talk about it and then make people aware that even though it might not get a name, it's something worth watching, right? I think it has some value. That alone has great utility, and so we'll see what happens, but I think this is probably going to be a no non-name or just no name situation. What do they do in sports when a referee doesn't call a call? That's a good no call. Makes no sense to me, but a no call. This is a good no call. Maybe it's just a 10% chance to bring your attention to some heavy rain across the Gulf. All right, what name would we get next? I said Dexter. It would be followed up by Aaron, which would be followed up by Ferdinand. Is anybody on the call with these names? Do we have any Umbertos on here? Do we have anyone named Olga? Oh, Olga. Well, there's bound to be an Olga. How about a Rebecca? I know we have a Rebecca in our newsroom. We have an Aaron in the morning, our news anchor. So I don't know if you're on the call, if you've got a name that's on the list for the hurricane season. I'd love to hear it, see it. Let's see here. Wendy says, hey, I'll put my name in. Let's see. I don't know if we're putting your name in for the hurricane season, or maybe you're wanting a name in for pizza. But either way, I'm going to give away some pizza. It's going to be fun. I love Pizza Thursdays because this is, I love cheesy bread. Don't get me wrong. If you're looking for some free cheesy bread, you don't have to go far. Just go to marcos.com and use this as the promo code. But the key word is cheesy with a Z. So don't forget the Z part, and that should be able. And they're only taking the first 100 in the contest stores that we've already highlighted. No purchase necessary, one per household. And these are the Marcos locations that are participating. But let's be clear, you can find Marcos almost all around the country. Tidewater, Hampton Roads, there's all kinds of Marcos. But these are the 5 that are playing the home game version. They're playing the contest, and they're giving away the cheesy bread and the free pizza that we're giving away tonight. All right, so we've talked about Dexter. He's still yet to form. Here are my headlines. Cranking up the heat, my friend. And the humidity. Ooh, did you say humidity? I did. I said the humidity is going to be way up too. So we've already talked about 106, 106, 108. And if that's like back to back to back to back, it wears on you. Maybe it doesn't wear on, maybe it doesn't wear on everybody in your family, but maybe it's the dog, right? Maybe it is the elderly neighbor. What a great opportunity to ask your neighbors, hey, are you okay? Just want a gut check. Are you okay? How's your air conditioning? So, no one's ever asked me that before. Well, why not? It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to build friends during a heat spell because heat kills more than anybody, right? We had 238 average over the last 10 years that succumb to heat across the country. It felt like 115 in the middle part of the country this week. So think about that. It's not going to feel like 115, but 108 is pretty tough too for you outside. Now, feels like temperatures 102 to 108 for the next 5 afternoons. Not in the morning, but for the next 5 days in the afternoon, it's going to feel like, I think, 102 to 108. And then the small rain chances ahead, spotty showers Saturday, few storms on Sunday. Does that make sense? I hope so. And if you stick around, what really probably makes no sense is how I started this live stream. I know it kind of was a bit weird, but I have had this, like I said, I've had this this fandom of Jimmy Stewart movies, and I think it was one of the greatest actors to ever grace the silver screen. But I will share a little bit more of my impersonation of It's a Wonderful Life at the end of the live stream, if you're so inclined to stick around, because I'm going to give away pizza and a 7-day forecast that you'll find probably unlike anything quite this entertaining. All right, so we have small rain chances this weekend. We have a couple of showers now in South Carolina, probably trying to move northeast of Wilmington. Had a few showers around Rodanthe and Hatteras, but really, in the big scheme of things, outside of maybe a sprinkle that looks like it's trying to dance along the Virginia-North Carolina line, there's not a lot to see here, and I don't expect much in the short term. So the severe weather threat tonight is a nothing burger. A severe weather threat on Friday, tomorrow, is a nothing burger, unless I travel Fridays, David. You're not putting everything into context. Well, there's the context for you. If you're traveling to D.C. tomorrow, you could get an isolated severe storm in green. And if you happen to be traveling to the Big Apple tomorrow, scattered severe storms for North Jersey, all across parts of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Long Island. Those areas in yellow could have some scattered severe storms, but nothing on Saturday. That's the expectation from the Storm Prediction Center. Now, I have, and we do have, quite a bit of military in our audience here in Norfolk and Hampton Roads. Wanted to show you the country as a whole, how storms are kind of unfolding now in Colorado, just to the east of Denver. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning right now. It looks like to the east of Denver till 6:15 Mountain Time. That's Adams, Morgan, and Weld County. Ooh, and off to the east we go. Flash flooding concern. I mean, when it rains, it pours. We've heard that before. That'll be another calling card for this weekend. If it rains, it's going to pour. But it's flash flood warning for these counties, Caldwell, Carroll, till 11:30 tonight, affecting about 35,000 people. And you say, how are you figuring that out? Because it's got the number right there. And about 62,000 here. So there's quite a few people affected by flash flooding going on right now in parts of, say, Missouri. But if we zoom back out, there's also crazy weather going on in Detroit. Well, west of Detroit, there's some severe weather here around Ann Arbor. That lasts until about 8:15 and 9 o'clock respectively. So they've got some severe weather there. And who am I missing? Down to the south we go. We talked about areas from Tampa. It looks like they have a severe thunderstorm warning in the Tampa area. This is just to the north of Tampa, around Pasco County, till 8 o'clock this evening. So, yeah, I mean, you just pick your favorite place. If home is not here in Hampton Roads, you got family in other parts. That's what this designed, or was designed to do, is to help you get a bird's eye view of what's going on. Let's see here. Wendy, I got Taj, I had Marilyn Bell on here. Earl, Denmark's on here. I haven't said hi to Denmark. Let's fly in here. He says, weather. He says, pizza. Let's give some away today, David. How if we get some lower temps? Let's do it. You know, this is a good time. This is a really good time. Should we give away some pizza right now? It is now just about 8 o'clock. Let's do it. Let's just delay no further, because this is one of the things we like and especially love about Thursdays is that we like to give away some pizza. So Denmark brings up a good point. We're going to get some lower temps, I think, in August, but we got a hot spell coming. So let's first, though, start off with the first and the big winner, the granddaddy winner of the week, is Free Marco's Pizza for a year. The whole year? Yeah, when we talk about this, to be clear, I just want to be clear, this is a certificate, so it looks like this. So now that we're going to go through July, this winner, who is about to be named, will get one. It's like a punch card. You can punch out July, August, September, and you'll have 12 months for getting one large, one topping monthly for free. And if you don't win tonight, the certificate for year, you could win next Thursday. It's that cool. We keep randomizing the names, so that's what's cool. I like about that. All right, so we got this. The only thing I think we're missing, and I think it's really kind of, it's maybe academic, but maybe what we're really missing is some confetti. Yay! All right, the free Marco's Pizza for a year. The winner goes to a holler for Jamie Lawler, Virginia Beach. Congratulations, Jamie. If you're watching, you could be the very first winner of Pizza for a Year who actually is watching live. Most people watch this thing on delay. I don't know if it's a few minutes still on delay, a few hours on delay, maybe a few days, like over the weekend, you find it, hey, you mean I won? Yes, you won. And the good news is your certificate will be mailed, so you don't have to be watching us live at the moment. But if you happen to watch us live, I'd love to know what you think, how excited you are, because let's face it, that's what makes this fun. And we have a lot of people like Taj and others who are rooting you on. We're excited that Jamie just won free pizza for a year. And now the question is, are you going to share? You mean I got to share? There's nothing in the bylaws to say that, but it's nice if you could share with a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know, maybe a neighbor. Hey, would you like a slice of pizza? Marco's Pizza. They'd love for you to share. Maybe that would. All right, let's just check in. We got some more to give away. We could have more balloons. Woo! Some balloons. Oh, is that new? I like that too. Okay, so we're talking about free Marco's Pizza. These are individual pizzas. So I'm going to go ahead and announce the winners here at 8:01. The first two winners, we're giving away 10. And it's not me that's giving away, it's Marco's. Marco's very generous. I will point this out. If your name is Mark and your last name is Mark Schaller of Virginia Beach, you, my friend, have just won a free one-topping large pizza at Marco's. Now that's pretty sweet. If your name is Panero Dingle, you just won a pizza of the same magnitude, one pie, but it's awesome that you could participate and you have just won that as well. If your name is Michael Matofsky of Norfolk, welcome. Congratulations, Michael. You just won a free Marco's Pizza. Are you going to share? Now, Heather Powers, she must have some superpowers because she lives all the way down in Windsor. So I imagine she's going to come over to the 5 stores, right? She's going to come over to the 5 stores and maybe she'll be redeeming her free pizza at Virginia Beach, or Chesapeake and Norfolk. But again, that's kind of how this works. We're glad that you're here. And that's a bit of a drive, but maybe she commutes, maybe she comes here on vacation in summertime to hang out at the beach, you will have a free Marco's Pizza when you come by. We also have a couple other winners, number 5 and number 6 in no particular order. Markeisha Lawrence. Congratulations, Markeisha. She's in Edenton, beautiful Edenton, also a few miles away, but also love to see you here at Marco's here at the 757. And then Tierra Bonner, she's in Norfolk. That's a short drive to one of the locations. She just won a free one-topping large Marco's Pizza. We won't stop there. We got Emma. How do I say that? Emma Burtock, Virginia Beach. Congratulations, Emma. I just want to give a congratulations to you. A certificate will be mailed very shortly, so you'll have your free pizza very soon. Love it. And of course, we have Kenneth Mumford in Chesapeake. He's also number 8, but we have, I believe, 2 more winners, and then we'll get back to the weather. I just want to give a drum roll, please, to, or at least a knock on the table, Clifton Stowe, Norfolk, Virginia, and Marianne Lopez Saunders of Portsmouth. Congratulations. Wow. I mean, goodness, what are we up to now? 75 to 100 pizzas? Marco's could tell you. I can tell you it's very generous what they're doing. And the fact that if your name is Mark, Panero, Michael, Heather, Markeisha, Tierra, Emma, Kenneth, Clifton, or Marianne, or dare I say if your name is Holler for Jamie Lawler in Virginia Beach, you just won pizza for a year. I think that's pretty sweet. I think it's very nice, and I think maybe I hope that you'll share, because you know it's going to get hot. I think that pizza is a great comfort food. I particularly choose Marco's. I think it's great, and maybe that way you can get through this little hot spell, because it will turn cooler in August, and now I got to prove to you that it will. All right, I got a tough task to cover here in the next few minutes. All right, so we've already covered the national scene. We've had very little rain in the last few days. In fact, we've had nothing. We had a trace on Monday, but so far we're just under 4. So if we get some rain, it has to occur at the airport. This is like a point. I mean, it's an individual point on the map. It doesn't necessarily speak well to every community as how much rain you've had, but typically we see about 6.08. That's a 30-year average in the month of July. Now, Norfolk normally gets 6.08. That's based on 30 years of averages. August is number 2, and September typically the third wettest month of the year. Sometimes those months can also correspond with a decaying tropical storm or a hurricane, right? I guess over 30 years, you go back, some of those numbers might be skewed a little higher because we usually see more tropical activity in August and September. Highs today hit 86. 90 was the high in Suffolk. It was 90 in Franklin, and Elizabeth City came in at 87 today. Our friends in Manteo hit 83 as well. If you're on the call, I just want to say hi to you. I got a smiley face from I guess Wendy. She's so thrilled. She's either happy for me or happy for the winners. I hope you're happy for the 11 winners of pizza tonight. And if you feel like you're being left out, I hope you don't. But if you did, you always could encourage others to just take advantage of the free cheesy bread. Man, we're giving you free bread, and we're throwing some cheese on it too, with some marinara sauce. I mean, that's a bonus. Do I see marinara back there? Maybe you like ranch. Maybe you want to dip your cheesy bread in ranch or marinara. You could do so many options, but all you need is the promo code when you go to Marco's checkout, marcos.com. And then, of course, what's it say? Screenshot, save, and share. See, if you could share the promo code, you can share your cheesy bread and share your pizza as it comes to your table. By the way, we got 90 for a high in Franklin. I mentioned 90 in Williamsburg, and Gloucester was hot too at 87 degrees. Now, here are the numbers. If you're playing the home game version, we've had 5. It's hard to believe because with a heat index. The above normal days count 5, below normal days 16, and we've had 1, 2, and 3 normal days. So, 3, 5, 3, and 16, whatever you want to call it. We still have another week to go. We have to get through this day and tomorrow and all the days in between. So we've got, 7 days left of the month, and I think it's going to be hot like a firecracker. I've been pretty consistent on that. You go back to, and that's what's nice about these Facebook live streams. You can go back to Facebook. You go to my YouTube channel. I still have them. They're there, and you can go back and hold me accountable. Did he say it was really going to be cool in August? I even described it as great intel. Great weather intel, and some of you thought, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That's okay. That's how human nature works. All right, we got to go on. I want to mention another freebie. How about the News 3 First Warning Weather app? It's free. You get lightning alerts, you get heat advisory alerts, you can get everything. Plus, if you have a NOAA weather radio, it's great to have both, because sometimes, as you know, your phone can lose charge and then it's no good and you're not getting the notification. So it's good to have multiple sources for info. Current temperature is 80 in Chesapeake. It's 79 in Virginia Beach. We have 83 in Franklin. I got some other notes that are coming on here. Taj is so excited. I think he's just so thrilled that some people want some pizza. I think it's cool, and maybe he's excited that he's getting the free cheesy bread. I think this is the cheesy bread look. I don't know if Marcos is watching, but cheesy, I'm saying that I think it has a lot of potential. But hang in there. Taj is so fun. I love having conversations with you guys. All right, so 80 in Newport News and 83 in Hampton, and our feels like temperatures are palatable, I guess, or they're easier to take, right? They feel like 80s, and we're in the 80s, so we're really not much different there. Windsor, we had somebody win from pizza. It's down in Windsor. That's a bit of a drive, but that's down here in Bertie County. Am I circling Bertie County? Yeah, that's Bertie down there. So we're talking about a little bit of a drive, but maybe you're coming to Virginia Beach for vacation. Maybe you've got a few days off in July or August. Dew point temperatures are coming up, my friend. They were in the 60s for a couple of days ago, and now they're in the low 70s, and they're beginning to creep upward. How do you know? Ooh, you've got the dew point change. You are a weather nerd. Yes, a weather nerd. Not only are we talking about dew points, but we're talking about a dew point 24-hour change. Change that card. 6 degrees hotter, more humid in Wakefield right now compared to this time yesterday. It's 5 degrees more humid in Virginia Beach right now compared to yesterday. It's 5 degrees more humid in Norfolk. In degrees, yeah, that's an accurate statement. And it's 6 degrees more humid right now at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night as it was Wednesday night. I mean, it's all about perception, but this is really where things are. And if it's all plus, 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 it's not minus, minus, minus. The humidity's coming up. And once we get into tomorrow, we're going to skyrocket to 106 in the afternoon for feels like temperatures. It's going to be very, very tough. So again, I want to encourage you with all seriousness, make sure you take care of your family and friends and neighbors. By the way, muggy only goes to oppressive as it gets higher up to 75, and that's where we're going to be much of the week. Here's where I think it's going to be. I mean, this is pretty sobering, right? When you're in unpleasant territory, or you're in miserable territory. Does it, really? Can it get any better or worse than this? Some of you are like, if you love heat and humidity, you're going to love Sunday. If it's 77 and we have a temperature of 95, that easily puts you in the 108 territory. That's why I have a higher feels like temperature on Sunday. Now, 74 is still unpleasant no matter how you slice it, but this is just kind of where we're going. And we just looked at the dew points. Many of them are now in the low 70s. That's pretty consistent with where we'll be most of the day on Friday, and then it only climbs from there after that. Dew point temperatures are off the chart in some cases to the far west. I'm looking at Birmingham, they're at 76. Hatteras is 76, but look at Myrtle Beach, Columbia, 75. That's sticky air. There's no more 40s back here or 50s like there were in upstate New York a week ago or even just 4 days ago. We had some 40s I think on Monday when we did our live stream, and we were remarking about how dry it was to the north. Not anymore. Want to say hi to Knoxville, East Tennessee. Been there 15 years. I've been now in Virginia Beach for more than almost, was it 5? I guess late February. So almost coming on my 6th month. But I love the fact that, Knoxville can sometimes be the canary in the coal mine because they were super hot in Memphis and Nashville and Little Rock. If you need evidence for that, just look at these numbers. Look at Little Rock right now at 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's 95. And it's 96 in Dallas, 94 in Oklahoma City. All this is coming this way, my friend. It's coming this way. But eventually, some of the cooler air, maybe not in Quebec, but some of the cooler air in green will come down, and we'll start to feel the difference by the time we get to August 1st. Are you still on that? I am. It's crazy. Let's just take you through it. Future temperatures at 5,000 feet really is the 850 millibar temperature. Shows you how cool. Go ahead, stop it. Let's just stop it at August 1st. Can we do that? Or boom. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Do I see yellow? Do I see yellow across Pennsylvania, New York? I do. I see it. It's pretty clear to me how cool it's going to be around Quebec and perhaps the Great Lakes. So maybe this could set the stage where the hot air goes this way, that's west, and the cooler air comes down from the northwest. Doesn't mean every day is perfect. Yes, we could be in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s, but maybe it's not 108 anymore. Maybe once we get through these next 7 days, the worst of summer could be over, could be in the rear view mirror. Would then that be nice? Some might be saying, hey, that'd be great. Some of you are like, I would take that in a heartbeat. Ooh, I mentioned Wendy on here. She was smiling. Yes, I love that picture. And then of course Taj, he says we need San Francisco cool. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but even by that point, August 1st, Taj, it's going to be pretty toasty out in the California area, Nevada. It's going to be hot again. So I'll take where we are, just if you just stay put. If you just wait 7 days, it'll change. Some people like to say every 5 minutes, but if you just wait 7 minutes, 7 days, you'll find a big change in our weather forecast. So this is the coolness that I think is coming, and these models will give and take. They'll, again, nothing extreme as far as what we see, I think, the first 7 to 10 days of August. Friday's planner, though, this is pretty sobering as well. 92 at noon, and 95 at 4. Now, we hit 86 today, so this is 9 degrees hotter. Take all the humidity out. This is just a 9-degree hotter day tomorrow versus today. Sticky, hazy sun. Sun's up at 6:05. Winds 5 to 10 out of the west-southwest. And it's still steamy at 8 o'clock. You got Friday plans. Everybody's got Friday night plans, right? It's going to be steamy around 90 degrees at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, still 90. That's pretty tough. I don't know. Some of you say I love it. Some say I don't love it. Okay, temperature trend in the next 5 days. We talked about low to mid 90s. It's now 813. Heat index, here it is. If you're just joining us, this is what we're crowing about. Temperatures are going to feel like 102 to 108 for the next 5 days. And the first 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, may be the harder ones to take simply because of the higher dew points, the higher temperature, and so it goes. So if that's what you're not looking forward to seeing, let me know. I see here, I see somebody named Kip. She says yes, she's hoping for some snow. Maybe a snowflake. It wouldn't fit on this map, but I do appreciate the sentiment because it is probably just a few months away. We're 5 months away from Christmas, mind you. This is again Christmas Eve in July, at least the night of anyway. So we finish this up as we look at these temperatures. Very hot. The heat dangers. We talked about heat exhaustion. What to look for if not in yourself. Maybe look for this in your neighbors. Your neighbors might exhibit some of these symptoms. Maybe they're faint or dizzy, throbbing headache. Maybe they're not sweating. That's a bigger problem for heat stroke. If they're sweating profusely, that could also be a telltale sign. They might be cool and clammy. or pale if they're dealing with heat exhaustion, or their skin could turn hot, dry, and red, and they're both nauseous and vomiting. That could also be a commonality between the two. But what really is a telltale is if you got a rapid, strong pulse, and maybe you lose consciousness. Maybe they start wanting to pass out and faint. You got to be quick on your feet. If you have to call 911, so do it. Make sure that they stay in a cool, air-conditioned place. You might be doing the turtle crawl to the air conditioning. Take a cool shower, use a cold compress, and drink plenty of water. We talked about that at the beginning of the live stream. Rain chances for the next 5 days, not that high. I got us at 20% Saturday, 30% Sunday, and then we'll keep on that theme going into Monday, Tuesday. So that's kind of the way things I see set up. Rainfall forecast. This is probably not going to impress you, but we'll go ahead and move this clock forward. How much rain do you think we're going to get between now and Tuesday? Tuesday? A half inch. Well, this is actually more rain than I saw in the last run, but this would suggest over an inch in inland Virginia and 0.4 in Southside. So some areas might get maybe a decent amount of rain. It looks like a 0 there in the Outer Banks and hardly a 1/4 inch in the Eastern Shore. So it's going to depend on the direction and the speed in which these storms move in, and do they just park it over to the same location. Half inch is projected around Richmond, same time frame. I'm looking at 11 o'clock Tuesday. This is a cumulative from now to 11 o'clock next Tuesday, would suggest about a 1/4, maybe a 1/3 of an inch in Emporia and over toward Roanoke from a regional point of view. Eastern Shore forecast, 94 Bloxham, 93 Onancock. If you're in Cape Charles, look for a high of 91 tomorrow. No more are we in the low 80s for Duck. You'll be in the upper 80s tomorrow. High UV index, Manio 89, Nags Head 89, Rodanthe also upper 80s with a 20% chance of showers and storms in Ocracoke, and Hatteras both in the upper 80s. Here's your futurecast for the rest of tonight. You'll start tomorrow morning. In most cases like this, you're going to find a dry forecast, but boy, is the heat and humidity coming back on? Absolutely. It's coming back in full force. Midday to 1 o'clock, maybe a spot shower. That one wants to put it over Virginia Beach. Doesn't mean it will happen in Virginia Beach, but it suggests it's still possible. We go into 5 o'clock, maybe a drop here, a drop there, and then we slide into your Friday night, quiet again. Once the sun's down, a lot of this goes to sleep. And then by Saturday afternoon, because that's Saturday morning, this is afternoon, a few extra clouds, and kaboom! Look at that. Look at that full screen. That looks like it's around, I don't know, around Elizabeth City. It could be anywhere from Chowan County, Pasquotank County, maybe in Perquimans. You could be finding a lot of pop-up thunderstorms coming into play by, say, 3 to 5 on Saturday afternoon in North Carolina. And then by Saturday night, it looks like increasing clouds coming in from the north and west. So that's where things are. Friday morning, we're going to wrap things up. 8:17 here. Mid-70s for overnight lows, generally low to mid-70s across the board. I got Franklin and Wakefield at 71, Elizabeth City, 73, and Cape Charles about 76 degrees. We're looking for low temperatures generally in the low 70s. And then we slide into your Friday afternoon. It's just smoking hot, man. I mean, low to mid 90s is tough, but it's not record-breaking territory. Record highs like over 100. But we're not going to be there. It's just going to feel like that. Look at Williamsburg, 98 degrees tomorrow. That's what I expect tomorrow. 97 for Hampton, Gloucester 97, while it may still be about 95 in Elizabeth City, Portsmouth about 96. That's why I said it's so important that you take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors. I got 95 for Norfolk, 96 for Gatesville for a Friday afternoon. And here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 93 Saturday, 95 on Sunday. Best chance of rain again is that 30%. But then it comes back to 40 out here. So what is that? That's July 31st. Notice I have 90. I think you're going to see temperatures tumble back into the 80s for highs, and hopefully we can drop the dew points as well. But that's what I anticipate. So you got 7 more days. Behold, the last 7 days of July are on the screen right now. So hopefully that will help you prepare. It's these overnight lows that are practically near 80 tomorrow night. That's tough. When you can't get below 77, 78 for the next couple of days, that's going to be where it really matters and where the rubber hits the road. Where as far as what you're able to endure and the time of the time outside that you can handle comfortably, that's going to be really the test, is the overnight lows. I also want to talk about the happy shots as we like to conclude. Got some beautiful pictures. I'll take this full screen. This comes from Jack Carpenter from one of our WTKR photographers group there on Facebook. This is Buckrow Beach. fishing pier. So if you like areas like maybe you want to fish, this would be a place to go, or one of the many places you could go here in Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks. Chesapeake Bay, we got a great picture of pelicans with Mike. Thank you for sharing that picture. You can see the bridge in the background. And then Virginia Beach sunset. I believe this was last night. Michael, thank you so much for sharing that photograph with us. I appreciate that very much, as we are continuing to appreciate all of you. So there you go. Just to recap, we're still giving away the free cheesy bread if you use the promo code WTKR Cheesy. We also gave away free Marco's Pizza for a year to Jamie Lawler of Virginia Beach. If you know Jamie, let her know. She's going to have a certificate sent to her in the mail. And we also had 10 winners of individual pizza pies from Marco's, because they're very generous, from Mark Panero, Michael, Heather, Marquisha, Tierra, Emma, Kenneth, Clifton, and Marianne Lopez Saunders in Portsmouth. We appreciate all of you and appreciate your time on this particular Thursday evening. It's about 8:20. I may have gone long, but I just wanted to come back on camera and let you know how much I appreciate all of you, because one of the great things about this live stream is it can be as interactive as you want it to be. Now, I was talking a moment ago, I think I was, about the movies, the stuff, the people we hang out with, the people that we rub shoulders with. That stuff tends to rub off on you. It tends to shape who we are, the movies we watch, the music that we listen to, all that. And I'm a big fan, as I mentioned, of Jimmy Stewart. So in keeping with Jimmy, I thought it would be kind of fun just to, since it is 5 months from tonight, we're going to have It's a Wonderful Life played on dozens of TV stations around the country. I just thought I'd do a little bit of my Jimmy Stewart impression as I did at the top of the newscast. So if I did something like, say, hey, little fellow, you worry me. What are you, a hypnotist? Oh, come on, cut it out. You're screwy. You're crazy. That's what you are. And that goes for you too. And you as well. Anyway, there's my Jimmy Stewart. So I hope you all have a great night, and I hope you have a great weekend, and enjoy the heat as best you can. And look out after your neighbors. Don't forget, remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or the weather is serious. It doesn't matter if it's serious. Every day is a gift. We'll see you here next time. Make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here. Take care.